And we are still stuck with the first to 5 for Gauntlet. One set. There is no cushion for going 3-0 other than OSW has had plenty of time to rest and watch the stream.
Yeah, and here we go. OSW already off to the races with this 6-3 sprint stack.
I mean, would we expect anything different?
No, I'm just pointing it out still.
I feel like it's a staple of the OSW way.
The staple of any fast player, really, because, like, sprint is... We've seen so many players with their sprint game.
Sprint is the way. And it looks like the way right now for OSW, converting into a 6-3 effortlessly with this clean stacking. I think it's only had one Tetris. The rest has been T-spins. Has to sacrifice.
Up to 19.
There's potential. I think it's there.
Yeah.
No, the miss.
Oh, not quite.
And it's still
not quite, but that's a 67. Yeah.
What a waste.
67 attack is hefty.
And a 61 from Wumbo, but Wumbo's going to be tanking garbage in the process just because of how quickly OSW is getting off these zones.
Yeah. It's actually quite crazy how much Wumbo...
It's phase 3 already from OSW. The
OSW
spins before the second zone.
It's really crazy to see how stark of a contrast it is to see a player going from one spot in the gauntlet to the next. Because like Star and Botchus were having a really close match there. Things were looking really intense. Star was still picking it up in the end with really good plays, and then Wumbo kind of just like eclipsing that, you know. And now OSW's here doing whatever this is.
Well, keep in mind, Wumbo has fully neutralized. We are back to even in phase 3 between Wumbotize and OSW in our first gauntlet bracket of the night.
Yeah, only not many lines of garbage on the board here. Both players doing a good job at neutralizing each other.
Yeah, and another thing I definitely want to call out, and especially for those that are not accustomed to a lot of T, I want to make sure everyone's paying attention to this. A lot of top players are usually used to the same formula of like when zone meter is typically used, right? Because zone meter is a very important part of playing Tetris Effect Connected. A lot of times you'll get your first zone meter, it gets you to around that like, you know, high 30, low 40,000 points. And by the time you get almost to your 60,000 points, which will trigger phase 3, you should have your second zone and you can zone beforehand to give yourself a little bit of extra time, some more resources, right? But when you get to players like OSW that have been playing so incredibly efficient and so fast, they can push it into phase 3 before the second zone even happens. And so for a lot of players that usually count on a second zone in order to supplement that damage efficiency, they can be put at a pretty severe loss if they're not ready to hit phase 3 earlier than anticipated. And fortunately, well, I guess not in this case as much as I wanted to call it out, but Wumbo was able to survive well beyond the phase 3 transition and basically just kind of got speed gapped out a little bit as OSW able to manage that garbage a little bit more efficiently.
OSW took a quick pause there.
I think I might have just been trying to get a little bit of an insight what Wumbo is thinking, which I know is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Ooh, and very good with the forecasting on that T-spin double from OSW. A little bit of a rough stack to continue going through. We're going to see, all right, cleans it up with a little bit of an S-spin. Has the 6-3 stack ready to be built. Going to do a lot of the stacking outside of zone. We do see a little bit, I think this is kind of like middle of the stack LST. 58 ulti right there from Wumbotize.
Let's see what OSW can pull. A 57 and 18.
And given how quick that zone attack was, Wumbo does not have a lot of chance to deliver a follow-up attack, and we're back into neutral. But look at the score once again as we called out. 55,000 points. OSW is going to push us into phase 3 before we get to a second zone. And fortunately, Wumbo's stack is in a beautiful state. Able to take quite a lot of this garbage. Oh, maybe not anymore. Oh, nice with his Z-spin, able to keep things pretty clean. But in the meantime, OSW is playing outside of zone. There's no garbage going on. And as someone who loves playing very creatively to keep these efficient stacks going, it's going to be more than welcome, I'd say, in OSW's case. And again, as per typical OSW, you're probably not going to see zone for offense unless we see a defensive zone show up from Wumbotize. Going to keep relying on the offensive pressure outside of zone to force a bad zone out of Wumbo. And, oh, okay, and we actually haven't even seen the zone show up from OSW. We just see the down combo of, I think, 8 or 9. And finally, once that has been finished, only a couple of lines to OSW's name going to have to counter. Nearly finding it all clear, but I think the parity is not there.
Ooh, OSW. Ooh, 60 ulti there from OSW. There's oh my god. Ooh, is Wumbo going to be able to tank this? No, it's not. No, OSW is going to take that second round.
A solid game 2 from OSW. And you can see just, again, if you have that little extra bit of time in zone, out of zone, ability to play more efficient, and those stats can fly through the roof. And there's the all clear immediately to Wumbotize.
OSW's playing so fast that it feels like there have been multiple rounds played already, but it's only been 2.
2 counts as multiple, right?
Well, yeah, but you know, it's like...
Yeah, like if I say like I have multiple cookies with me, like I could have 2 cookies. But like, that's multiple.
That's not the best phrasing, though.
Sorry.
Like, I would, like, two cookies is barely multiple.
Alright, well, we have the 56 there from Wumbotize. OSW right 6-3 stack that they're able to keep stacking clean through to line 16. I don't think there's going to be a curb stop, but we will get the 66.
Ooh, that's a real...
And it snags in the center on Wumbo's board. Immediately gets the top 3-0 to OSW.
Oh, look at that. More than 1 APP. That is crazy. No cookies here, but you're still in for a treat.
You know, I feel like whatever browser I'm using should tell me that instead of just the regular like cookies notifications. I might like actually entertain that.
That's crazy.
Oh, OSW has a little bit of an early miss. Gonna force a defensive zone, and one noticing that has happened is going to turn on the Jets, trying to play efficiently, getting a T-spin single into the Tetris. A little bit of an unfortunate lock on that eyepiece. 19 lines, looking for the ulti, greeds for it, gets the 61 ulti, but OSW has the sidewell ready in order to fully mitigate that garbage.
And OSW, yeah, OSW is just kind of unfazed by this garbage, untouched, unshaken. Has a nice T-spin double here.
Ooh, Tetris on the combo down stack from Wumbo. Able to keep up pace, and right now OSW doesn't have score advantage, so not able.
Yeah,
to
Wumbo actually has it for once. Well, that might change soon. I feel like. So this zone will probably keep things ahead for Wumbo.
Let's see, what is the option? We do get the 20 line once again on.
We're in phase 3 now.
And although OSW has a little bit timer to work with, you can see OSW is a big fan of bursting out those center well zones in just the blink of an eye.
It does not need that. Does not need.
Misses the T-spin double. Wumbo still
quite a few misdrops here on OSW's board.
I will point out this is going to be a little bit of cleanup work that OSW needs to get to, and quickly. Almost misdropping the S piece. Oh, Wumbo not really the greatest position for that O piece. And I think the Z was intended to be a skin, but it snags up top. And OSW able to get a little bit more breathing room. Is that a misdrop of the S? Oh my goodness, no. It works into an STSD in the center.
Yeah. Oh, Wumbo's right at the top here. Things are looking a bit dire. OSW's about ready to send a huge attack with this zone.
Well, we
41 and 16.
Wumbo.
Is Wumbo going to be able to find enough of a down stack to be able to survive this?
We're gonna need a lot of pieces on the board in order to make some magic. Fortunately, the magic is... We do see another quarter zone, but the misdrop...
Misdrop after misdrop, that's it. That's that round. Jeez.
OSW on match points.
Yeah, this is looking to be a full sweep. Oh, OSW ready to get that broom out.
OSW wants that top 4 seed. Again,
he really does.
With the amount of bracket resets that OSW has had in their career, man, OSW knows the value of having a better seed and a better spot in winner's bracket.
Yeah. Loser's bracket is coming to Grands with a loser's bracket win is really rough. Just because you have to run your own gauntlet there, and OSW definitely does not want to run that.
Wumbo shaking things up, a very fast zone.
Ooh, that's
the greedy plays from OSW are gonna take.
That was a very scary spike. That was a very scary spike, and now.
Funnily enough, yeah, OSW is not using this zone meter whatsoever. It's just waiting until the moment is right to strike. And I'm not sure exact. Okay, I guess that moment shall not happen.
Yeah, what a bit of an anti-climax for that match end.